Decoding the mind often feels like a modern obsession. Today, we rely on therapy sessions, fMRI brain scans, and cognitive behavioral therapy worksheets to help us navigate our inner conflicts. These tools address a universal tension, the moments we act against our own best interests. We set a rational goal, like financial stability or physical health, and then watch an impulsive choice override it in seconds. Current science frames this as a failure of executive functioning or emotional regulation, a view of the mind as an entity at war with itself. But the origins of this internal war were mapped out long before the existence of modern neuroscience. To find the source of these ideas, we have to travel back to Athens in 375 BCE. Plato authored history's first systematic psychological manual, mapping the structure of the psyche, the soul, or the mind. Unlocking modern psychological well-being requires an understanding of this 2,400-year-old blueprint of human consciousness. Plato identified a structural reality that defines the human experience. The mind is not a single, unified voice, but a fractured entity driven by competing forces. He captured this division through his Chariot Allegory. He described a driver struggling to steer a chariot, aggressively pulled by two wildly contrasting horses. His tripartite soul model had three parts. The dark horse, or appetitive soul in the gut, drives primal urges. The white horse, or spirited soul in the chest, powers emotional courage. The charioteer, or rational soul in the head, provides the guiding logic. In the early 20th century, these exact concepts emerged as the foundation of modern psychoanalysis. Freud's model maps directly onto Plato's. The id is the appetitive dark horse, the superego is the spirited white horse, and the ego is the rational charioteer. Modern psychology echoes this in two system models, categorizing impulsive processing, the horses, versus reflective oversight. This structure suggests that mental health depends on empowering reason to maintain a harmonious oversight of the entire system, rather than trying to eliminate emotion or desire entirely. Plato also looked outward, shifting from how the mind is built to how that mind flawedly perceives the external world. In his Allegory of the Cave, he describes prisoners chained in darkness for their entire lives, forced to face a blank stone wall. Behind them, a fire casts shadows of passing objects onto the wall. Having never seen the objects themselves, the prisoners mistake these flickering shadows for objective reality. Plato noted a profound resistance to the truth. If a prisoner were freed and shown the real world, the remaining prisoners would fiercely reject that new perspective in favor of their familiar shadows. This 2,400-year-old allegory provides the conceptual scaffolding for modern cognitive behavioral therapy. Modern clinicians define cognitive distortions as the shadows of the cave, flawed mental filters and confirmation biases that trap individuals in a false, often negative sense of reality. What we now call cognitive reframing, actively challenging our perspectives to see reality clearly, is exactly what Plato meant by escaping the cave. While we now use clinical terms like neuroplasticity and executive functioning, the core architecture of our internal experience persists. The blueprint for understanding and treating psychological distress remains aligned with the map Plato provided over 2 millennia ago. Psychology aims for a structural harmony within the self, a goal that moves beyond the management of clinical symptoms to find internal balance. When you are caught in an impulsive desire or trapped by an anxious thought pattern, you are experiencing a manifestation of this ancient struggle. True psychological peace requires us to recognize the false shadows we project and consciously empower our rational charioteer to take the reins.